One of the things that I just will say over and over and over and over and over and over again is the difference between people who sell real estate and the people who have real estate businesses are the models that they run. You can own a donut store or you can be Krispy Kreme, right? Krispy Kreme has a model. You can own a donut store or you can be Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts has models. Nobody is going to your local neighborhood donut shop saying, I want to franchise you, right? Because that's just the quality is hit or miss. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. They often run out. But people are going to Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' and saying, I would like to own that because it's a guaranteed money. Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, think about the businesses you love. They run models. And when you buy a franchise, you buy models. Guess what? Your real estate business is no different. So on the table in front of you, what we've got are some models for you to run. We'll be going through those today. And these come directly from Mega Agent Camp that they had just a bit ago in Austin. Now, you have heard me speak negatively of agents who base their business 100% on social media. When I say social media, I'm saying that in quotes, right? Because most agents, when I ask them where your business comes from, and they say social media, what they mean is, I have no idea, right? Magic. That's how. It's magic. I just say the special words and it happens. That's not a model. A model is, I get on X platform, and I run a play that I run consistently, and I track that play consistently. And when I track that play consistency, what I see is a return that comes consistently, right? That's a model. And so what we have here are 4 different models that you can begin implementing, or pick one that you can implement, that you can use right now to start expanding your sphere of influence on social media and start being more deliberate about your presence so you can bring transactions out of that. We would be crazy to ignore social media completely. I don't think it's going away, right? This Facebook thing, it seems to have caught on, right? And even though most people say, I hate Facebook, or I'm ready to get off, I'm leaving Facebook forever, or I don't use Facebook anymore, guess what? It's like the mob. It just keeps pulling you back in, right? Has anyone tried to get off Facebook? Did it work? No, because they're the mob, right? Good. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, right? These are all platforms. So here's the thing. If a product is free, you're the product, right? So this is the mindset I want you to have about your social media platforms. If they're giving me something for free, I am the product they're selling, right? And so think about your social media that way. When I'm going on Facebook, I think I'm getting a free thing, but I'm not. I'm the product they're selling. They're looking to get advertisers, right? So I love that mindset because when I go back and I think of using Facebook or Instagram or YouTube as a tool, it means I'm getting a little bit back, right? They think they're selling me, but they're not. I'm using them. I'm growing the business. I'm not the tool, or they're the tool. I don't know. One thing. Somebody's a tool. Anyway, so we've got 4 models in front of you. The first one is called Sheena's Secrets, Your Sphere of Influence on Facebook. Go and open that up real quick or turn to that page. Now, I say that the tool is Facebook, and I don't care if you love or hate Facebook. It is undeniable that Facebook has a lot of power and influence on our society. True? True. It is also undeniable that Facebook is very affordable as a platform by which you can be in contact with people. And so as a real estate agent, how can we exploit that? And so what you'll see is a series of steps. Now, this was presented at Mega Camp. It was presented a little bit earlier in what Jason Abrams is doing called School is Cool, where he's going through models. But if we look at this, it's a really simple plan. Anybody want to point out the first thing that stands out to them from this model? Look at it real quick. Peruse the page.
Your post should make people smile.
Your post should make people smile. Absolutely. Right? It's that familiarity bias. We want them to look at us. So yeah, we want them to think of us and to smile, right? I say that all the time. Our 36 Connect is that we can stay top of mind so that when people think of us, they think of real estate and they smile. So that. What else stands out? Okay. Awesome. Yeah. There's a lot of opportunities for engagement. What else? Consistency. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anything else stand out before I dive in?
10 hours a week?
10 hours a week or less, right? Yeah. But there's, what's that? And the word opportunity. Yeah. So 10 hours a week. What I hear about 10 hours a week is committed to running this as a part of your lead generation program, right? An opportunity, yeah, I think there's plenty of it. So let's start at the top. We're going to post on Facebook 10 times per week. Just real quick, how often are you posting on social media right now? Twice a week? Okay. 4 to 5? All right. Does any other people? Every blue moon. Very nice. Right. Anybody else posting higher than that? All right. Here's what I love about this. 10 times a week gives me a metric by which to judge. Did I do what I need to do to get out? There's a metric. What's the thing? 10. Right? 10 also gives me, I can put it on my list of tasks and I can see did I do it. Now, are you going to be a real estate robot 10 times a week? No, number one, mix personal and real estate content. I typically like a 3 to 1. So I do a personal, an inspirational, and a real estate. I like that mix. Right? I've seen that be effective in other people's businesses. So I would go personal, inspirational, real estate. Personal, inspirational, real estate. Personal. So you're going to see something related to my kids and T-ball. You're going to see probably something related to scripture or leadership, because that's just kind of where I live. And you're going to see something that's very real estate targeted, right? That's a good mix. Now, is that going to facilitate they're going to smile? Absolutely. My kids are super cute. You're going to smile, right? Okay, yeah, right? But inspirational, maybe they'll smile. Maybe they'll be challenged. Real estate, if I'm giving it a positive, and again, real estate doesn't have to be, this house is for sale. It could be, take a look at this kitchen, right? Sarah, right? It could be that kind of thing. It could be you're telling the story of a historic property that you've always wondered about, so you finally found out about. It could be you're saying, hey, good news for buyers, right? Could be any of those things, right? But a real estate post. Then communicate your value position through posted content. How do you communicate your value position through posted content? Any guesses?
Helpful information, give them something that is useful to them.
Helpful information? Yeah. What else?
Regarding real estate?
Sure. Well, just regarding your service, regarding real estate, bring what you offer.
So, because I'm involved in the chamber, I can give posts about different things going on in that. One of the Facebook things I have is for the Love of Riverside, and I just post, like you say, inspirational or informational things that are on there. Hey, coming up we have our pie giveaway that we have, or trick or treat type of thing that we have. I could post it on there and just invite the community to come without saying anything about
Yeah.
That I sell real estate or anything else. It's just great information for the community.
Yeah, and Brent's insights from the chamber are gold, right? Because it makes you the local expert of choice, right? And I went to the chamber the other day with Brent. It was in the morning. It was earlier than I wanted it to be. And but what I walked away with was a lot of information on what's happening in March Air Force Base. What I walked away with was information on what they're doing in the water district to try to encourage more storage, right? I walked away with insights into some of the signage things that's going on that's affecting businesses in our community. Those local insights are good. What are local insights? Local economist of choice, right? To be able to speak to some of the things about like what is happening with prices, right? That's a local economist of choice. And again, restaurant insights, right? Value, local expert of choice. Hey, I don't know if you guys have this mechanic I've worked with for 20 years, and this is why I love him, whatever, local expert of choice. I always talk about the Mission Inn Christmas, right? Because I personally have anxiety about crowds. But if you gave me a how-to Mission Inn for Christmas, I would love that, right? That's a local expert of choice. It's value proposition, all of those things. What I want you to look at too is the adding friends. This is one of those things that I love, and I love it because Facebook wants you to do it and will reward you for doing it. Have you ever been on social media, Facebook or Instagram, and what's the one thing they love to show you? People you might know, right? This is people who are already connected to your sphere. And so those are the easiest people to bring in. Why? Because you've got somebody. And so you friend somebody and you go, hey, how do you know blank? Right? It's amazing how you learn. I've got a friend in San Diego who knows a guy I did theater with 20 years ago in Los Angeles. And I did that. I was like, how on earth do you know Cameron? Right? Like, and it was just one of those weird connections. They grew up together in Tennessee, but we totally connected in different circles, right? Like, that's an opportunity. So adding people. So you're going to add conversations you have inside Facebook. You're going to add them, conversations you've had inside the Facebook ecosystem. So when you connect with someone on Facebook, where does that data go? Command. That was a contact, right? And so when someone has a birthday, where's that data go? Command. When someone gets a puppy, where's that information go? Command. When someone's kid gets their driver's license, command, right? Yeah, pray for them, right? That's all, right? Because you're building that. And when you do your quarterly phone calls, you can say, hey, how are you guys doing with the puppy? Are you through the pooping in the corner phase, right? Puppies are cute, but they're terrible, right? You're going to reconnect with people that were in your sphere at one point or in time. I'm the master of making deep relationships and letting go of them, right? Probably you are too. There are probably people in your world that you wish you were better connected with. Facebook gives you an opportunity to do that. You're going to reconnect with colleagues from previous jobs. Anybody here have a life before real estate? Right. Okay. So we're going to reconnect with those people, right? And we're going to be, and again, real estate gives me the opportunity to be the kind of friend I admire, right? I can be in relationship at scale. You're going to recommend people you may know. Okay, yeah, Facebook's going to tell you who to friend with. And then every person you connect with in real life, go ahead and connect with them online. So if you're picking kids up at school, hey, it was really great connecting with you. Exchange information. Go find them online and go, hey, just wanted to reach out and say hi on Facebook. Well, all this stuff, right? So here's the thing, but what if they don't accept my friend request? Okay, so what, right? A lot of people haven't accepted their friend request, right? And I've got a lot of people who haven't accepted mine. You know what it means? Nothing. But it's an opportunity for deeper connection. Engagement. This is where the rubber meets the road on this model. You're going to engage with at least 75 people per week. And when we talk about engaging, where it means we're going to comment on their posts in addition to just thumbs up or heart, right? So this has to be genuine. We want to show up as ourselves. We want to be honest in everything we do. I want people to interact with me, right? Not with the real estate me. But if I see a post about the fire, then I'm going to interact with it. If I see a post about the puppy, I'm going to interact with it. What they've shown is that 5 words or more and the use of an emoji actually will prioritize you on their feed. Does that make sense? So if I post on someone's social media, I use 5 words or more, and I use an emoji, then what Facebook is going to say is, wow, they're really friends. And it will show that person my social media more, it'll show them my posts more often because of that connection. So then they're going to be more in touch with me. That's the way that works. And so you're going to comment sincerely. I said that with interest. And then Facebook direct messages. Ray writes happy birthday thing, right? When you see someone's happy birthday, so don't just go, happy birthday. It's meaningless. Go on to DM and send them a horrible video of you singing, right? That's a little more real.
Are you saying I sing horribly?
A little bit. No, I'm saying you've said you sing horribly, and I wouldn't argue with you. No, yeah, make a joyful noise. That's exactly right. So that's a model, right? That's not, I get my business from social media. That's, I have a model for connection with my sphere of influence on social media. So when I'm doing my DTD2, my 36 touches, and I go, I don't have anything else to do, I ran out of people. Boom. Yeah, I do. I've always got something I can do. If my business isn't coming at the right model, that's one model for Facebook. Any comments on that? Any questions on that? Good. Do me a favor, turn to your neighbor, and if you would, share with them what would stop you from implementing something like this. On your mark, get set, talk. right.
Sunday paper, night.
All right, good deal. All right, guys, ready to come back? Ready to come back? Good. So the limiting obstacles, what the limiting factors, the obstacles, we just want to be aware of them, right? And I heard things like, well, I'm a very private person. Okay, that's okay. But what I would encourage you is, if you're a very private person, don't exploit your kids. That's okay. I don't. I personally, if you look at my social media, I tend to not use my children's names because I'm just weird about that. I don't want someone to be able to see that my kid goes to X school, has practice at X time, and they know his name. So I refer to them by their number, which gets a little weird. But like number 6 just went to kindergarten today, right? You know, and that's just kind of because we have a large number of kids, right? Or I will say the kinder guy, right? Or I'll say first grade man or things. Now, when Ben got cancer, we got a little bit more free with that. We kind of went out to the world and we're like, everybody knows Ben's name. He's a little celebrity. Now we're kind of pulling it back. My 16-year-old daughter, nobody knows her name, or we try to limit that. When people post and they put her name, I will then delete that post because I'm weird about that. I am. That's okay. But I also do share some of the joy of our life, and I do share family pictures, and I do share things that are going on. So there's a line that you can kind of find. But yeah, I agree, the personal thing. John Acuff is an author I like, really interesting guy. But I was with my wife one day in the car, and he posted something about his daughter, and I said, hold on, watch this. I just zeroed in on the little logo on his daughter's band costume. I said, I bet you in about 3 minutes I can find out where she goes to school when her practice is. And boom, 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 and I did, right? So those things we got to be aware of, absolutely true. Doesn't mean we don't use the platform. It just means we use it smart, right? I heard some other things. I'm not really on Facebook. Okay, that's totally cool. I'm not really on cold calling, but I use it, right, when I need to build my business. It's a tool, right? And what were some of the other limiting things that we had thrown out there? Things that might stop you. Content. Brent, what's your answer to no content?
Go buy a Sunday newspaper. You will have content the whole week, because how many people look at a newspaper anymore? And if you just took and posted
Yeah.
the headline of something, you know, the movie, right? The $3, last week, Saturday was $3 movie day. I posted that, oh my gosh, there was, you know, people in the theaters, they loved it. It was gonna be hot. And one lady wrote, what can I do? I said, go to the movies, it's $3.
Yeah.
Where else can you sit in air conditioning?
So
for
I love
$3?
this hack. If you don't have content, you want to be hyper local, buy a newspaper. It's so true. The power of local media has gotten very, very diminished, right? We don't have that sort of thing. And that's why we kind of see every election now as a national election, right? That's because we don't have the power of local. But if you want to be the local expert, just buy a newspaper and just that's your content for a week. It's beautiful, right? You're going to get insights into things that other people don't know because they're watching national media or listening to national podcasts. But you can be the hyper-local expert really simply just by buying a newspaper and sharing those articles. Unbelievable. Super hack. Good deal. Anything else? Any other limiting factors? I would say, yes, Alice.
Oh, I just listened to a really good book club today, and it talked about fear, you know, and I'm a seasoned agent. I still have fears. And so, you know what those fears are keeping you from? They're keeping you from living your dream.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why not? So the homework for me for this day is to call a for sale by owner, go see a expired listing, and talk to some stranger that you don't even know and ask them if they have any real estate needs. And to get over that fear, because those questions, that fear is keeping me from living the life that I
Absolutely.
you know, I want. So,
Yeah. Fear is a big limiting factor. Absolutely. Fear is a liar, but it's definitely there. Yes?
I see to go off fear, not getting likes. So sometimes when you post and then you don't get those likes, I feel like when you post personal things, you get likes, but business things, people don't like them because
Mhm.
they're not seeing them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would say I love what you just said too, because one of my social media hangups is I post stuff and then I want to see, right? And then I'm curious. So you have to have a detachment from it. You want the likes, you want to be responsive to comments, but you can't let that stop you from moving on to the next thing. So yeah, very true, very true. Yeah.
What's this TCPA?
That is the Consumer Privacy Act. So Telemarketer Consumer Privacy Act. So basically what that means is you just can't be soliciting people for business without permission. But posting on your social media, making direct comments, those kind of things, fine. But if you went and DM'd everybody on your list and said, hey, are you looking to buy or sell a house? That might cross the line. And I honestly am not as well versed with it in terms of social media as I am in terms of phones. My sense is that because social media is a private platform, those are different regulations, and social media will have their own regulations regarding that. But we can refresh on that one as well. Well, hey, let's move to the next model. We've got 4 to get through. And this is a model for Instagram right here. And I don't know how to pronounce that name. I'm going to say Eli, Elio, Eloise. Oh, yes, yes. Yep. The difference between private and business. My understanding of the Facebook algorithm is it is going to favor the private, a personal page, right? Now, the business page is important because you can do advertising through the business page in a different way, right? And so it's important because that's where you're going to get your reviews. You want to work with them hand in hand. But as a rule, your interaction is going to be more powerful through your personal page, right? And then you would direct them to the business page can lend credibility to those interactions. And so some of it can be duplicate content where you maybe would post to the business page and repost, but reposts always get less traction than real posts. So just something to be aware of. Cool. So this is about Instagram because the truth is not everybody's on Facebook. In fact, millennials and younger are not on Facebook as much as, say, people Gen X and above. Although as millennials get older and have kids, they're getting more involved in Facebook because of the groups and things like that, just the sheer power of it. The other thing to remember is that Facebook is Instagram and Instagram is Facebook. It's the same company. And so you're probably seeing Instagram posts being promoted to your Facebook feed if you spend more time there and vice versa. So, 1, find a lender partner, someone who likes to educate buyers about the home buying process and has an online application portal. Pre-approval will help make sure your leads are ready to go. And so what they're saying there is, for content, for video content, for connection-wise, if you're going to be dealing in the online space, have a partner who's comfortable in the online space, right? Have a lender partner you can do an interview with or a conversation with, or you can do regular updates with, right? Because on Instagram, and I would say Facebook to some degree too, video content is key. Reels are very important. Instagram is completely an imagery-driven sphere, but video is even more powerful than the static image. Number 2, create or switch to an Instagram business account, okay? Now the reason for this is Instagram does not allow you to boost posts as an individual. And it's much harder to do directed advertising through a personal account on Instagram. You don't want to just have a business account, but you do want to have a business account so you can advertise to it specifically. And again, this is one man's model. But what's number 3 and how familiar is that? What do you see number 3 on this one? Following 20 new people a day. Yep. That's a big goal, right? But if you remember, we were adding 7 new friends a week on Facebook. Here we're adding 20 new people a day to our business, people following us on our business account. What's the theme? We're building the database. We're constantly building the database. Because the internet leads, social media leads, are going to be a lower return, but we're constantly building the database. We're always remembering that target, right? Where we've got haven't met to want to meet to met to allied resources, right? We're always bringing people through that circle. So we're bringing new people in. And so again, Facebook or Instagram is going to suggest people, right? You can use geo-targeting to find them. You can follow back anybody who follows you, and you can search for your favorite hashtags. So if your hashtag is first-time homebuyer, follow it. If your hashtag is empty nester, right? Follow it. If that's a niche you want to be following, right? If your hashtag is downsize or retirement or whatever, right? Those are opportunities to find people looking for that. And then you're going to post how often? Number 4? Daily. Okay, so Facebook, we were posting more often because Facebook has more of a waterfall. Instagram, you're going to see posts stay and have a longer life on it. And so this recommendation is daily. You don't need to reinvent the wheel every day. And what they're recommending here is a cadence. a system, right? The system is Monday. You're going to do it. Now, you'll come up with your own system, but if you want to run theirs, that's great. Do an open house. Do a cool house with an inspirational quote. Do you have to go see that house? Nope. You could find one on the MLS. I have an agent in Temecula who does this all the time. She posts really cool houses, and then she says, who wants to go see it? Or wouldn't you love to live here? Or, oh my goodness, who wouldn't want to have this kitchen? Or what about that amazing backyard? None of them are her listings. She must contact the agent, and she's following all the stuff. Right? You can post from in ours, or you can find MLS and contact the agent. Say, hey, I'd like to run a little this, and I'd like to just mention you. Is that okay? 9 times out of 10, they're like, do it. Right? Doesn't even have to be from our market. Yes, Arthur. Oh no, Caesar.
If it's on the MLS, do we have to contact others? Because they're offering us money, and we're allowed to promote it without even...
If you are going to advertise, the MLS guidelines say you do need to contact, have permission, and attribute. Yes, my understanding. Yes. So check with I've looked into it, and yes, you do. Now, you can contact an agent and say, you do so many cool Lux listings. Can I just repost those if I attribute to you? And they'd be like, if they say yes, then just post away. If it's a listing out of market that you found on a public spot, like if it's, then you can repost, right? If you saw a mansion, I like to watch a guy who does mansion tours. I could repost his videos and go, wow, most expensive home in Colorado. This is incredible. Who would want to live here? Right? That I don't have to, right? So that kind of content.
If they're in our market center, do we still?
If
Or
you should give a courtesy, Ray. Yes.
didn't we talk about that in one of our ALC meetings? If they're in our market center, we were going to talk about just a blanket. Yes, you may advertise our stuff.
Typically, yes, but just give a courtesy. Just heads up, I'm advertising some of this stuff, right? Because we haven't had that form signed from everybody yet. But our goal is that that's a blanket. Yes, you can advertise each other's listings. Cool.
By advertise, you mean post on our own individual Instagram,
Yep.
Facebook, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to go out there and put it on Facebook Marketplace or stuff like that.
No. This would be your own for your own posting. Check out this listing kind of thing.
I'm just making sure everybody knows that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's not. That's not the policy as of yet. Right now, it is you have to contact the agent to get permission because we don't have that buy-in, but we'd like to have that buy-in. And again, it's kind of an understood here. We work together. What's that?
Especially as we're getting a lot more listings.
Totally.
That, you know.
Absolutely. Jules Farmer has a $14 million listing, right? I'm sure she'd like someone to advertise that for her. Bob's got a $1,079,000 listing. I'm sure he'd like someone to advertise. So that just those things. Sam and Elisa, you had that really beautiful listing in Hemet a while back. A great opportunity to list that, that kind of advertising. Those kind of things, right? You know what else is a great opportunity to advertise a post? Beaters. Ugly, beat, oh my God, who would live here homes, right? Those are great. Weird bathrooms are fantastic. A bathroom with a sink that you can use at the same time, post that, right? Okay, those get interest, right? That's what the goal is. So those are great.
So,
Um,
so if you're in a house and you see something like really crazy and you want to post that, you have to first call the agent first.
You probably should as a courtesy, yes. Yes.
Isn't there something in the contract that says, your house may be photographed by other people?
Yeah.
Right, but advertising, if you took the picture and didn't cite it, gray area. So I'll get some more on that.
Taking a picture of someone else's art on their wall because it's very different,
Yes,
very funky.
yes.
Not my taste, but I thought, oh, that's kind of different. So I took a picture of it and I posted that.
Yep.
Is that a violation?
Not that I'm aware of,
Okay.
but I want to make sure I read that because I don't want to get anybody in trouble because I spoke out of turn. But what I'm getting at here is a cadence, right? Monday, something cool. Friday, something this. Thursday, Tuesday through Friday, something this. Saturday through Sunday. There's no guesswork, right? It's Monday, I do this. Christina's doing this right now. She does her market updates on Mondays, I believe. Monday market update. You could do Monday motivation, right? You could do Friday fixers. You could do Tuesday. I got nothing for Tuesday. But it makes sense. Like you could just continue to do that. And you have that cadence of things that you're doing. This is a business-facing one, so it's going to be mostly business. If I was going to run this play on my personal, I would have the same cadence from the Facebook where I'm doing some personal, some inspirational, some real estate, some personal, some real estate. Does that make sense? And you're going to create DM templates. One of the most time-sucking things that you can do is write an email from scratch, right? Or write a text or a direct message from scratch. So how do we hack that? I just have a template that I've got that I just copy and paste and I put a name in. That's a system, right? And so create those DMs and then reply to any DMs ASAP. The real secret on social media, on all of it, if you're building a tribe, and this is, again, we're building these quickly, right? We're adding 7 a week or 20 a day or whatever. If you're going to build that group on social media, then what there has to be is not just the appearance of access, but actual access. What I mean is, if I post something and someone replies back to it, they need to be acknowledged. Because if they're not acknowledged, I stop becoming the leader of this group, and I'm now Coca-Cola. I'm a nameless, faceless organization. It's an email to a distant celebrity. But if I reply, then it's, hey, I know that guy, right? He's a pretty cool guy. Oh, we're friends on Facebook. We've never met each other, right? But they replied, I replied, there's give and take, right? That is where it really becomes powerful. And one of the things I say all the time on social media is the more that your story can become our story, the more engaged your group gets in it, and the more engaged they get in it, the more they want to see you win, right? If you're telling the story of building this business and they feel like they're part of that story, then every listing you get is we won, right? That's what we want. The approach to take for most of us is there. It doesn't matter where you're at in your business, right? We won is huge, is powerful. You don't, again, we used to think we all had to come off like we're these established professionals in our navy blue suits, right? And that was what it meant to be a realtor. Now, through the internet, we have this ability to build a very specific group. Seth Godin would say 1,000 rabid fans, right? And that 1,000 rabid fans wants to connect with you personally. They want to be part of your story. And if they feel like it, they'll celebrate it, and then they'll help grow it more. So that's the model on social media. On Instagram, we also have Rachel's social media system. And guys, what I'm getting at today, we're not going to get through all 4 of these because we're running out of time. Let me go and take a look at YouTube because we haven't touched it yet. What I'm getting at is, do you need to go run all 4 of these? Absolutely not. Do you need to start running a play on social media, like a system? You absolutely do, right? And that system needs to be consistent with whatever else you're doing. But I love this YouTube one. We'll go through it real quick because I think YouTube is an incredibly powerful tool if it can be used well. One of the things I'd like to point out that stops people on social media, particularly in video, is quality. They look back and they go, it's not very good. Because they're comparing their now to somebody else's 5 years from now, right? And so there's an example I was watching with my kids the other day. There's these 3 Australian guys who are essentially idiots. And they're literally, their channel is they drop stuff off of high things. It's fantastic. They literally, there's this tower in the middle of Australia. I have no idea why it's there. And they've dropped everything from cars off of it to like bouncy balls. They have a giant axe they drop. It's ridiculous. The key to their success, I firmly believe, is as you watch it, you enjoy their friendship. That's why you watch. It is not the content. It's the camaraderie, right? Now, the reason I bring them up is if you start watching their channel now, it's pretty well produced, right? They've got good sound. The images are clear. There's editing. And they've got a guy who's filming. If you watch them 6 years ago, they're awful. They're bad. They're trying to be somebody else's channel. But you got that spark, that seed of what's going to make them successful, right? Why they're successful and now have 1 million followers, right, isn't because they were really good when they started. It's because they just consistently kept hitting it, right? And as they got better at it, they figured out how to do it better. They got through the willing to be bad at something in order to be good at it. So if you're looking at video going, I'm not good at that, of course you're not good at that. How do you get good at it? You start doing it, right? So 1, identify your niche. You want to be the agent of choice for something specific. Now, if I want to be the agent of choice for something specific, I want to be the agent of choice for luxury. That's a space I'm comfortable in. It's a space I like. It's a space I feel like I can be real in, right? That would be my niche. That's where I would go if I'm going to start doing these videos. And I'm going to start walking through and taking a look at things and pointing out finishes, and I'm going to do all that because that's just where my mind is a lot of times, right? I like that sphere. I really enjoy selling homes over 800,000, period, right? I really don't enjoy 500,000 first-time home buyers. It's just not my jam. I don't like it. It hurts too much, right? Does that make sense? So I wouldn't go there, but you might love it. You might love that process of going with the first-time home buyer to their home and going through all the struggle and all their hopes and their dreams and every penny is this important. That's great. Share that story, right? Your niche is your niche. My niche would be my niche, right? That's the key. Your niche may be just hyper-local, old, or maybe you want to get into historic homes in Riverside. If that's what you want to be your niche, then go start doing those things. But identify something they can hold on to. If you target everyone, you miss everyone, right? If you specifically target where you want to get, you're going to get overspray, you're going to get bigger than you wanted. But if you try to speak to everyone, you're speaking to no one, right? So pick your niche. You want to be the agent of choice for something, right? Because when they go on YouTube and they search luxury homes in Riverside, or historic homes in Riverside, or craftsman home in the Inland Empire, they will search those things. You want them to find you, right? No one searches real estate agents in Riverside, right? They search for something. Beautiful kitchens, right? There's a niche, right? Those kind of things. Retiring in Riverside. Best, and people use YouTube like a resource now. When I want to learn about, my son and I are still working on perpetual motion, right? My 10-year-old. He's still trying to crack perpetual motion. It's a lot of fun. He scares me. We go online and we research it on YouTube. We go watch videos together, right? People are using it that way. So look around. What are other people doing well on YouTube? Maybe what is somebody doing in another market, right? If I want to be historic homes in Riverside, then why don't I go look at historic homes in Colorado Springs and see what somebody's doing and just copy it, right? Why don't I Toyota their Ford, right? So that's something we can do. And then time block it. Nothing happens on accident. It has to be time blocked. 2, create 4 buckets of content. So if you're going to be the historic homes in Riverside guy, or the luxury homes in Riverside, or you're going to be the retiring right in Riverside, then you're going to do 4 types of videos, and they gave you some examples, pros and cons. So the pros and cons of historic homes in Riverside, pros and cons of living in the Mission District, the pros and cons of blah, blah, blah. That would be one video in your bucket. The cost of living in this area or this neighborhood. List videos, top 10 things to do, or top 10 things to know, or top 5 things for it. Does that make sense? Like these are all those kind of things, and it can go on and on and on, but you decide what are the regular buckets I'm going to hit. Why are those buckets important? Because if I know what the buckets are, I can schedule an entire year in one sitting, right? If I don't know what the buckets are, I sit down on Monday and go, what am I going to do? I don't know, I should do something, right? So maybe one of yours is motivation. I don't know what yours are, but identify the buckets. Identify your post cadence. Sarah, who has used this successfully, we got this plan from, does once a week. Most YouTubers do not do any more than once a week because YouTube is labor intensive, right? Most, are once a week would be a pretty good cadence for them. If you look at some of the bigger channels, like Mark Rober's, like every other week, it seems like, or maybe once a month right now. Ennis Yilmaz, he does mansion tours. He's about once a week. He'll release a new mansion tour. Those Australian guys post a lot because their stuff's just stupid and probably doesn't take a lot of production value, right? But what's your cadence? If you can do once a week, do once a week. If you can do every other week, that's okay, but consistency is important. And then plan your content like I meant. So you create it, you capture attention the first 15 seconds. That's critical, right? And so what a lot of YouTube channels will do, a lot of content creators will do, is they will start with the hook. And so if you're going to be doing, if your niche is just terrible homes or fixer-uppers, then you would start with, in the first 15 seconds, that weird toilet that has a sink over it, right? And that would be your thing, and then it would be some like reaction, and then you'd cut to your whatever your intro is, and then you'd start your video, right? If it's mansions, you'd start with that kitchen or that bathroom or that pool or that whatever it is, and then your intro, and then you cut to whatever your video is. Does that make sense? You start with the 15 seconds of the most powerful, and then you absolutely throughout the video are asking for interaction. You're asking for them for the reply. Hey guys, in just a second, I'm going to show you probably the grossest thing I've ever seen. What I want to hear is your reaction. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you don't post, I can't do anything. But okay, come in, you go, okay, here you see it. And then you show them, and then you go back. And then when the comments come in, you comment back to the comments, right? Or on the next video, go, hey guys, as we're wrapping up today's video, I just want to read some of the comments from the toilet last week. And then you go through and you read those comments, right? Because you're rewarding them, right? Some of the things that I've seen is the top comment gets pinned, right? We'll pin the top comment from now on. And then we'll pin, does that make sense? That goes on. So you reward them, and then you end with a simple line. If you're blank, contact me. My info's below, right? Looking to buy or sell a home in Riverside? Contact me. My info's below, all right? Want to see homes like this, whatever it is, looking to downsize, whatever. Info below. Utilize descriptions. You've got to use the description on that. Just don't post a video with no print. You have to tell them what the video is about. So you write a title and a description. You post it directly to YouTube. This is going to get the most out of the algorithm. The other thing that they didn't say here is the image that you use on YouTube is important. So you always want to put like a title image, right? And typically on those title images, you want to bump up the vividness of it just a little bit. They need to be a little bit more comfortable than, or not comfortable, colorful than normal life. They have to be a little bit oversaturated. What they've shown is that gets a better response rate, right? And then lastly, be reachable. Just like everything else we've said, it's about engagement, about engagement, about engagement, about engagement. It's not about number of views, and that's critically important. The number of views doesn't matter as much as the engagement on the post. If I have 1 million views, but I only have 5 engagements, that wasn't a successful post. If I've got 1 million views and now I have 20,000 engagements I have to keep up with, guess what? We're going to close a lot of deals from that post, right? So it's about engagement. And then follow up on inquiries. Add contacts to 36 touch plan, right? So you're going to try to develop these people into your sphere. All right, that's the last model we're going to go over today. You've got a couple more. Here's your homework from today's connection point. I would like you to go through one of these plans, connect with somebody here in the room, or if you're in coaching, or if you're on the ALC, or if you're in one of the groups in the Market Center, discuss how you're going to approach it, and then get in with it. If you would like to set up a consult for social media, contact me. We can work on this plan together.